It would appear that COVID is biting back hard, and from this weekend another set of rules and guidance will come into force. Whilst none of these changes has any direct impact on us at St Nick's, we're already used to wearing masks, and I hope that many people already do regular lateral flow tests. It feels like another jolt on our journey back to a degree of normality. But after all this time, I'm not sure that I really recognise what normality might look like. On Sunday, the Bishop of Liverpool will be with us at St Nick's to confirm 2 candidates. Every year of my ordained life, I have prepared candidates for confirmation. It is a wonderful time, both for candidates and for a parish, because it is a celebration of the faith which we share in common, and also a celebration of our Eucharistic community. What we cannot say is that confirmation can be defined as normality in any sense, because it is a moment of transformation for both an individual and for the church community. The articulation of faith and the receiving of the Holy Spirit are the offering and the gift of confirmation, and this is not a moment of normality. But most of all, I value confirmations because of the sense of connectivity. What is quite clear from the Bible, and in particular the picture of the early church which we see in the Acts of the Apostles and also the epistles, is that the church was never intended to be independent groups of people, but rather a single movement with expression in different places. But the church can never be defined as normality either, because if the church is not fomenting both faith and action in its members, then it is not bearing witness to the Christ who challenged institutions and authority. There were headlines last year, and they are starting again this year, about the need to have Christmas back, for it to be normal again. But the word normality has no place at Christmas either, because the coming of God into the world as Jesus Christ is hardly something normal. It was the event which profoundly changed humanity and our relationship with the divine. All of us are desperate for the pandemic to be over and for our lives to be free of masks and distancing. We're desperate for an end to the suffering and death which have marked the last 21 months. But I'm not sure that we should be craving normality for 2 reasons. Firstly, the nation before the pandemic was one of social and financial disparity. It was one of injustice and food poverty. People relying on food banks do not strike me as a normality to which we should return. Secondly, any sense that there is a normality in our lives suggests that we're not engaging with reality, which is ever-changing. Days after the end of the First World War, the then Prime Minister, David Lloyd George, promised that his government would make Britain a fit country for heroes to live in. Whether or not this was achieved is something we can debate. But that line captured the sense that a nation emerging from such a period of trauma and loss could not return to what was considered normality before. This is not a world in which we really want to live. As we keep our gaze fixed on the end of the pandemic, let us remind ourselves that normality is rarely in everyone's interests.